Hello and welcome. If you don't know me already, my name is Matt Giordano. If you're watching this video, it means you're interested in the 300-hour online teacher training, which is super exciting. So thank you for your interest, and let's go through a little bit about what this training entails so you can decide whether it is the right training for you or not. The first thing, we have 4 different modules in this training, and those include the physical body, which is basically, we've got techniques as far as biomechanics goes. That's how the body operates, and that includes alignment as well. And we go through a whole range of postures, going through what muscles need to be flexible, what needs to be strong, things you can do to modify those postures. And that way, when you come to your yoga teaching and you're sharing this with others, you have a wide knowledge base in order to support your students. The playful acronym I've got here is REAL. Are you ready for the real thing? Which stands for refine. That's your yoga practice and your teaching. And that's expand your knowledge, which we're going to do with the physical body, but also the knowledge of other aspects of the yoga practice. I'll explain in a moment. The alignment of your intention and your purpose as a yoga teacher, and how that is going to manifest into what you offer and how you offer it. And then finally, becoming a leader. And that means a lot of things, and I want to support you in developing that. Ultimately, the first 3 parts of refining, expanding your knowledge, and then aligning with your intention and your overall purpose is going to be what makes you a leader. So that brings us to the next part, which is chromatic yoga. Has 2 main elements to it. And the first thing is sequencing, developing a sequencing in order to help others in their pursuit of their yoga practice, in learning how to move and awaken their body awareness, so that it's not about the postures, but rather it's about understanding how their muscles operate, how their joints move. And I'm gonna give you a template to follow in order to create great classes so that your students leave feeling that aha, like the revelatory moment, that awakening that's like, wow, I get it now. That's the chromatic level 1 module. So first you'll go through the physical module, which is going to help you understand the body, expand your knowledge of the physical anatomy and everything. And then I show you in the chromatic level 1 how to teach that. The next thing is the heart, and the heart is really about the other aspect of the yoga practice. And that is inspiring us to go about our day in a yogic way. And I don't necessarily mean living like a monk-like lifestyle. That's not what this is all about. If you've been following me on social media or you've practiced with me, you know that my approach is a little bit more practical. We're not trying to diminish the human experience, but rather lose anything that holds us back from our highest potential, and to work through all of our limiting belief systems, work through our emotional and thought patterns that hold us back from ultimately sharing this practice and sharing what we love with the world. I will also, in this heart section, not only provide you with inspiration for your own practice, but I'll tell you and teach you how to weave what's called a theme through your classes. That is an inspirational message that's either taken from the Yoga Sutras or your life perhaps, and it is intertwined in how you offer the yoga class, and ultimately it's seamlessly integrated so that students aren't necessarily like, oh, here's the theme, oh, here's the physical practice. We weave the 2 together so it feels like one cohesive experience. That way, not only do they feel inspired in their physical body on the mat, but as soon as they walk out of the room, they're inspired to take on their life in a whole new way. And then finally, our 4th module is the leadership module. And that's where we're going to try to help you develop what is your purpose, what is your intention for sharing the practice. And even if you've already got a little bit of that down, to refine it and go the next step, which is a constant experience, by the way. There's never a time in my career where I felt like, you know what, this is what I'm going to offer, and that's it for the rest of my life. It's a constant reevaluation and growth for me as a teacher, and I'm sure it's the same for you. So I want to support you in that, in realigning with your intention to share this practice in the most impactful way so that your students leave your classes, your workshops, your trainings, your online courses, whatever it might be, feeling empowered to take on their life, feeling empowered in their physical body, better in their daily life, And so that's the leadership training right there. That's the 4 modules. Once again, we've got the physical module, that's all about the body. And we've got the chromatic level 1, which has 2 parts to it. One part I've gone over, I'll go over the second part in a second. And then the third part, we've got the heart, really delivering a theme and understanding the Yoga Sutras, also pranayama and meditation in there. And then finally, the 4th part is that leadership module. So let me go over the second piece of chromatic level 1. So the first piece is developing sequencing around what we call a physical through line. One muscle engagement or muscle group engagement, one joint action, and it's woven through a class the same way a theme is. So in chromatic yoga, we call them physical through lines and thematic through lines. Okay. The second part of chromatic yoga, which is quite unique that you probably won't get anywhere else in the world, called the elements of voice. And that is learning how to shift our emotional state as a yoga teacher to align with what we want to offer. And then our voice will shift according. You see that? I changed the emotional quality inside of me, and my voice is now shifted to a different tone. This tone has more space. It's a little bit lower down. It's less up here, right? It's less like, hey, how are you? You know, this upper energy that I was bringing in was called air. It's more inviting. It's more like, hey, high five, celebration. Whereas this energy is deeper. It's closer to the earth. It will promote more of a relaxation. I'll use it perhaps in the beginning or the end of a yoga class, in a meditation maybe. So I'll teach you how to shapeshift emotionally, internally, in order to authentically change the tonality, the tempo and the timing of your voice to create a greater impact for your students. And that is to help your students feel inspired, not just by what you say, but how you are saying it. We all know that, like, you know, a certain type of word affects us a certain way, but someone can say something and you can feel when they mean something different, right? Because their tone of voice and the energy they're putting behind it. So it's important that we align our words with our tone. So in the elements of voice section of chromatic level 1, I'm going to teach you how to shapeshift internally, emotionally, to tap into different elements based on what you want to share in that given moment of that class, or this overall experience that you're offering on a retreat or in a training. So that is the 4 modules, and altogether we are definitely going to be ready for the real thing, and just expanding upon what you already have as your foundation of 200-hour training. Some of you are probably already 300-hour certified, and you're interested in this particular approach, which is very, I love that humility about you already. So regardless of where you're at in your teaching experience, this training is very unique, and it's sure to give you a lot of tools and expand your practice individually, but how to share the practice as well. I hope that this has clarified a lot of your questions and has cleared up whether or not this training is appropriate for you. If you have any further questions, certainly use the contact form below, send me an email, and we can discuss further. I look forward to having you in this training. If it seems like it's the right thing for you, then I'll see you soon.